Chris Cowlin. Fan cams. Club news. Transfer news. Match previews. Legend interviews. Spurs winning. Press conferences. Covering everything Tottenham and England.
Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all keeping well. This is another edition of Premier League predictions. This week I'll be joined by entertainer and channel regular Gary Maloney. So last time out, Lee the Dorset Spur actually beat me 13-11. He got 1 correct score and 4 correct results, whereas I got 1 correct score and 3 correct results. I am now losing to the guests. I've got 36 and the guests have got 42. So match week 23, here are the 10 fixtures. Everton v Spurs, Brighton against Crystal Palace, Burnley against Fulham, Newcastle take on Luton, Sheffield United against Aston Villa, Bournemouth against Nottingham Forest, Chelsea will take on Wolves, Manchester United against West Ham, Arsenal take on Liverpool, and Brentford take on the champions, Manchester City. So let's get straight into it. Everton v Tottenham Hotspur at Goodison Park. I fully expect Spurs to go to Goodison and get the 3 points. Everton have only won 1 in their last 9 Premier League games. They have a lot of injury problems right now. And of course, James Maddison is back for Spurs. Pape Matar Sarr is back from the Africa Cup of Nations. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Tottenham win.
Big thanks to Chris Cowlin for asking me to do the next 10 Premier League fixtures. And the results. So we'll kick off with the game tomorrow, Tottenham Hotspur. I think it's going to be a comfortable win. I've just finished Chris's show. I touched on it quite a bit, and I think we're going to be too strong for Everton. Got a very, very good record there. I predict to be a comfortable 4-1 win. I think Danjuma will probably get a goal though, because it's typical of Spurs. But I'm going to go Spurs 4, Everton 1.
Next up, Brighton take on Crystal Palace on Saturday, 3 PM kickoff. Brighton have just lost 4-0 away at Luton. Crystal Palace, you never ever know what you're going to get. Certainly this season under Roy Hodgson, they seem to be very inconsistent. I'm actually going to go for a 1-1 draw.
On to the Brighton Palace game. I think it's going to be a fairly tight game, this one. I do think Palace will give Brighton a few problems. They are a difficult team, home or away, Palace, but I do feel Brighton will have a little bit too much. And I think they're going to need something to prove after getting a hammering by Luton. So I'm going to go Brighton 2, Palace 1.
Burnley against Fulham. Of course, Burnley are sitting bottom of the Premier League table. I fully expect Fulham to go to Turf Moor and get 3 points. I'm going to go for a 3-1 Fulham win.
Burnley Fulham. Don't think this is going to be the best of games, but I do think there'll be a couple of goals. I think it's going to be even Stevens. I think I'm going to go for Burnley 1, Fulham 1.
Newcastle against Luton. Although Luton beat Brighton the other night 4-0, I do fully expect that Newcastle will win because they are at home at St James's Park. The atmosphere at St James's is simply incredible there. I'm expecting a 2-0 Newcastle win.
Next game is Newcastle-Luton. Luton obviously got an amazing win. When was it? Yesterday or the day before? Can't remember, but it was a great 4-0 win against Brighton. Not going to do so well against Newcastle. Comfortable win for Newcastle. It will be Newcastle 3, Luton 0.
Sheffield United against Aston Villa. Of course, Aston Villa are now 5th in the Premier League table. Although I do expect Villa to go to Sheffield United at Bramall Lane and get the win. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Villa victory.
On to the next game, which is Sheffield United against Aston Villa. I think this is only going to go one way. I think it's going to be a comfortable win for Aston Villa. I predict Sheffield United 0, Aston Villa 3.
Bournemouth against Nottingham Forest. I'm actually going to go for a 2-2 draw. I think that this game has got a draw written all over it.
Bournemouth Forest, don't think there's going to be any problems with Bournemouth in this game. Forest, yeah, not looking great. I think Bournemouth 2, Forest 0.
Chelsea against Wolves. In recent weeks, Mauricio Pochettino has done a good job at Stamford Bridge. They've strung a couple of good results together. Wolves, of course, lost the other night at home against Manchester United 4-3 in the dying seconds. Sadly, I actually think that Chelsea will win this game 1-0.
Interesting one now, Chelsea v Wolves. I think a lot of people are probably going to predict the Chelsea win here, but I'm going to say it's going to end... I'm kind of leaning on a 0-0, but I'm going to go 1-1.
Manchester United against West Ham. I tell you what, this is going to be an interesting game. Of course, West Ham have had some good results of late. They drew 1-1 at home against Bournemouth the other day. Manchester United won at Molineux. Not many teams have actually got the 3 points at Molineux this season. Of course, Wolves have beaten the likes of Tottenham and Manchester City at home. Manchester United against West Ham, though, I think that Man United will probably just snatch it. I'm going to go for a 2-1 United win.
On to the Sunday games. So we have Man United v West Ham. Man United didn't look great the other day, but they nicked the win. It's at Old Trafford. I think they'll have a bit too much for West Ham. West Ham not looking the best. I'm going to go Man United 3, West Ham 1.
Arsenal against Liverpool. I think that Liverpool are going to have too much quality for Arsenal on Sunday, and I'm actually going to go for a 2-1 Liverpool win.
The big one on Sunday, Arsenal v Liverpool. I think a lot of people are predicting a draw with this one, but I actually think Liverpool are going to nick this. So I'm going to go Arsenal 1, Liverpool 2.
Brentford against Manchester City. Although Brentford have got Ivan Toney back, I think that the champions have just got so much quality throughout their team and their squad, and Pep Guardiola certainly knows how to get his team to go on a winning run. I just see nothing but a Manchester City win. I'm going to go for a 3-0 City win, and I still stand by what I've said all season. I think that Manchester City will go on to win the Premier League this season.
Last game prediction, which is the Monday night football, which is Brentford v Man City. I do think Brentford will score, but I think Man City will probably get 4 goals. So I think Brentford are going to get, Brentford are going to get hammered by Man City 4-1. Same scoreline as what I predict tomorrow to be. So 4-1 Man City against Brentford.
So thanks for watching and thanks for listening. Please do let me know your score predictions for match week 23 in the comments section below. Have a great weekend. Come on, you Spurs.